Well, it is a fantastic afternoon here at the River House, and we are on site with my helper.
Hello.
To do a little kitchen disaster. I am so sick and tired of that stink. When I walk in the door, I know there's something big or nasty behind those kitchen cabinets. It's time to rip them off the wall. It's not exactly fine carpentry anyways. Rip them off the wall and clean out what's behind it. But I have promised him that there is an old TV in here he can take apart, because he would very much like to play with the diffuser lens and see if he can make, I don't know, sunbeams or something like that. But it means a solar scorcher. But it means we got to go in the little shed of doom here. Now I moved the bucket trap out, because you can see around the base of that anything in it?
One dead mouse.
Yeah. You can see around the base of the stove in there, they've clearly moved in and are beginning to fill that old paneled wood stove with dirt. So yeah, it's down in there. That one was not a rodent-friendly trap, though I didn't want the risk of this door popping open and killing a bunch of wildlife, so I went ahead and used the RV antifreeze. So in theory it's not super toxic. So I'll get Mickey out and on his way. We'll get that TV out, we'll get it in the truck, we'll get down, I'll pull the cabinets off, and we'll all bask in the awesomeness and the glory of what I suspect is one whale of a mouse nest. Well, the goal here is to pull them all off from the walls. Don't believe there's any problem with just sawzalling off the pipes. They don't really go anywhere. This one I've got loose, except for one board in the back. I'm going to pull that thing out. What I'm hoping to find is that back behind there is where my mouse and squirrel issues are getting in. That's what I'm hoping to find. We ended up catching 2 inside here and 1 outside in the shed. So that's 3, but that does make 4 that I've caught out of here in the last week. So they're on the move again. Gnawing little buggers. So I'm hoping I can get this out, and you know, it just stinks. It just reeks. The smell is worse right there when you open the door than in any other spot in the whole place. So I'm hoping that there's some nastiness. Once I get the bottom ones moved, if I don't find anything, then the top ones are coming down. I think they're held up with 16-penny sinkers. So it's going to be a destructive process if I have to do that.
Dad. It's really heavy. Oh! That was from the bottom of the TV. There's a lot of screws in that.
It definitely was. I guess I don't know what to say. They've got this aluminum flashing nailed down, and there's a few spots where it's lifting up. That's not a mouse trail. You'd have seen. There's one dead mouse right there. I can now see behind this thing. I don't see much of anything. I can see behind that cabinet. I don't see much of anything. I can't see behind this one. And if you've been watching the video since the beginning, this was just a solid, it was level with the bottom. Just a solid rat nest. 100% solid. You see, this is where I see the most. That was all cleaned out. And this is the greatest words hard greatest concentration of fresh turds due to Duopolis down there. So it made sense to me that this is somewhere near where they were living in their nests.
Here's some of the same metal. Heavy again.
Thanks, bud. Well, I mean, I guess I could just sawzall it all off. As far as I can tell, I'm not gaining or losing anything. To hook water back up in this building would mean to keep it heated, and that is not on the horizon. And would you really pump water through this conglomeration of foulness? Probably not. I think the only logical solution is just sawzall all that stuff off so that I can get this thing out. And they got a false back there. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't actually smell much like rat nest right here, right now. This was always the worst spot. I cleaned it out up there. Didn't manage to find my wood one, so I got one mousetrap back. Well, let's just sawzall it off. Who gives a crap? Sawzall it off, and then we'll slide this whole mess down, and we'll deal with that and address. I believe a sawzall should be handed over to every person the moment they buy an old house. It should come with the sale. Well, nobody's been back there in forever, but there's no sign of huge mouse nest. You can tell there is mouse nest at the bottom of this particular cabinet. You can see some of it rolling out, and then you can see the outline of the turds, right, where they've been running around. This edge, however, seems to be reasonably well sealed up. There's maybe a spot right there that they've got a bit of a trail. There may be a spot over there that they've got a bit of a trail. So we'll have to get this nailed, screwed, wired, whatever down. It's a mess, but it's not the smoking turd gun I was looking for. Why does this corner smell so bad?
One magnet salvaged. That's speaker.
It was. No, can't go there. Why don't you make a treasure pile somewhere over there, nice, neat, and tidy.
Yep. And we can salvage the magnet
so that I can throw it away when you're not paying attention. Don't tell them I said that. There it is. You can see the joint where they brought the two together. Not very closely. It was all packed with this stuff, which I originally thought was that bearded moss that grows on lodge poles. That's the stuff I'm used to where I grew up. And I realized, and the mice had put it up here, but then I realized, well, there aren't any lodge poles around here. And I figured out that it was some sort of twisted fiber. It's soaked in something, I imagine it, I think if you were a shipbuilder you'd call it oakum. Right? I think it's a tar soaped hemp seal. And whatever it was, the mice didn't touch it. I saw all those things pieced together shiplap style, and I figured it looked like vinyl siding to me. So I just like, well, hell with it, scrape it all up. And when I did that, I realized it wasn't vinyl siding, it was chunks of aluminum siding that they cut up. Must be extras from around the outside of the house up above. And first I was actually quite disappointed because there was no sign that mice had gotten through. And I was like, dang, this isn't it. But then, on closer inspection, right there, you can see the devilish little teeth marks. And right here, you can see the devilish little teeth marks. And right here. So those three spots are spots where they are getting through. This appears to be a solid sheet of aluminum flashing with a wooden backer behind it. I suspect that's all still fine. This might be where they were getting in. I didn't actually have to cut the plumbing, just somehow get it undone, which was probably an impossibility. Because the back of the cabinet was actually nailed to the back walls right there. So all I did was break stuff, which you can hear that I'm all broken up about. From here, well, I can't. You can see the holes right there. I don't know. This, I'm sure they're not getting through. It's some sort of piece of door casing they got nailed down. I don't know what's behind that. Mouse nest. Let's see what I got around here that I can put on this and not spend any money. Okay, I found my blocking medium, and I can already hear the yelling. This is 1/2 inch black poly. It's just waterline. Big rolls of it underneath the house. And I know what you're saying, well, it's just plastic, they're going to go right through it. Well, there are big rolls of it underneath the house, including big rolls of it that were caught up inside a rat's nest. When I pulled the nest apart, they'd never chewed on it. I'm also thinking that the angle is not going to be very copacetic for their jaws to get up and get nibbling on it. Because they're going to have to come up through this little tiny crack. It's slippery. I don't think they'll be able to do it. What I like is that I can mold it right along this edge perfectly. Just perfectly along this edge, making that seal. That's what I have here. I need to clean this up before we leave. And we'll call it our experiment. I'm just going to run drywall screws in and through it. And screw it right to the logs, sort of at a downward angle. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. I think it'll work fine. If it does work fine, then we'll have to pull all these baseboard things off and go all the way around the house. I got more than enough water line to do that. So I hope it works. Who knows? Maybe it's about to be a log house top tip. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it looks nice. It laid in there really nice. It's blocking everything. It's tight. I'm not going to bother, but if you wanted to, you could caulk top and bottom and even get an airtight seal. Bunch of construction going on in the background, or destruction. I don't know. I wasn't going to remove this, and then I bumped it and it fell out. So you can see the mouse pass right there. It's out. Might as well replace it. I like my idea. Feel free to say I'm crazy, but I like my idea. I bet I could find some 3/4 and slip it over that. Oh, wow. Design on the fly. The helpfulness of the little guy. He's just learned that the parts inside the TV are not going to work for a solar scorcher, and he's pretty grumpy about it. So we're about done here. I just want to finish getting that sealed up with the water hose. I got one big spot right here. Gonna go get some metal and cover that. And that's about it. It's certainly not perfect. It is going to be immediately evident if the little stinkers start to gnaw their way through. So that'll be nice. And you're not going to beat just how fast it was. So I suspect that's how it's going to have to be done. And once we get that done, with luck, we have just dramatically cut down entrance into the home, hovel, dwelling, location. So I think that's about it. I'm going to shove those cabinets back into place and pick up the son's TV mess and get things squared away, and I think we're out of here. So, thanks for watching.